Manish, Mr. Verma, friends, good morning all of you. It is my privilege to be here and discuss with you as an user about our requirements. Friends, before I start with my requirements, please share with you what exactly we are doing, what is our vision. I am from Ministry of Road Transport and Highways, and Ministry of Road Transport and Highways is mainly responsible for development and maintenance of the national highways. When I say national highways, let me further clarify. Friends, we have the second largest road network in the world. Our total road network is around 46.9 lakh kilometers. And depending upon the custodian of these roads, these have been categorized under various categories. And the first category road is the national highways. National highways are the responsibility of the central government. These are the highways which runs across the states, throughout the country, connecting one part of the country to the other part of the country. The total length of this network is around 83,000 kilometers. If you see, as part of the total road network, it hardly constitutes about 1.6–1.7% of the total network. But this network carries the maximum traffic. The share of the traffic on the national highways as compared to the other part of the network is around 40%. So these are the most important roads in our country which are catering to the daily needs of the road user. Again, our problems are, why I am telling you all this, because after getting the feedback about how do we work, you will be in a position to appreciate our challenges. As a central government, we get the work through the executing agency. We are not executing the work directly. We are getting the work executed through different agencies, and these agencies are state PWDs. So I have 32 state PWDs who are working on my behalf. The roads which are situated in their area, they are responsible for its development and maintenance. Then the National Highway Authority of India. The most important road network out of this national highway have been chosen and taken out, and we have taken up a very ambitious program of national highway development. This is being directly executed through National Highway Authority of India. Then we have border road organization. There are some difficult areas where we are not getting the contractor. There we get the work done departmentally through border road organization. So roughly 40,000 kilometers is with the state government, 30,000 kilometers is with NHAI, and 5,000 kilometers are with the border road organization. We take up development through various sources. I am just giving you an idea about how our sources are, how we are generating the sources for development of the national highways. These two pie charts give you an idea how we did it in 10th plan and the 11th plan. Most important feature I would like to flag here is because it has direct bearing on our challenges. During the 10th 5-year plan, our total plan size was around 50,000 crore rupees, which has increased to 1.5 lakhs. Out of this 50,000, the share of the private sector was only 13%, which has increased to 42% during the 11th 5-year plan. The idea is now we are involving private sector in a very big way in implementation of the project. When I say I am involving private sector, my requirement increases manifold. Now I have to work as a monitor, I have to work as a regulator, I have to see whatever I have asked, whether all those things have been done in accordance with the agreement we have signed. Whether it is road condition, whether it is deploying facilities on the highways, So this increases my scope of the work. What is our vision? In the 12th five-year plan, we are anticipating expenditure of the tune of roughly 4 lakh crore. We have also a long-term plan for next 20 years where we are anticipating the expenditure of the tune of 21 lakh thousand crore in the road sector. Major program. Now coming to the location, because all these programs are located throughout the country. As I told you, major programs are the National Highway Development Program. The other programs are improvement of the roads in left-wing affected areas. These are the concentrated program in the specific area around 8 districts. Then we have taken up an ambitious program for development of the roads in northeastern region. All the 8 states of all the 8 northeastern states have been covered under this program. I will give you the size of the program. Apart from that, we have recently taken a World Bank loan to improve our national highway. Around 1,000 kilometers of road are being developed under this program. As I told you, under National Highway Development Program, we have 7 phases. First phase is connecting 4 metros, Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. It is around 7,500 kilometers. This phase comprises connecting all these 4 metros with 4-lane divided carriageway. The phase is more or less over. Second phase is north-south, east-west corridor. It connects Srinagar to Kanyakumari and Porbandar to Silchar. Phase 3 is again 4-lane facility for most important and heavily trafficked road section. Phase 4 is 2-lane with paved shoulder, just for your information. In fact, most of the road which you see around 7 meter wide are the 2-lane standard. We would like to segregate, being the national highway, all the local traffic to a separate lane. So instead of 7 meter, we are going to provide 10 meter wide carriageway. Then we have already taken up where our traffic is exceeding 4-lane capacity, 6-laning of the already 4-lane section, and the ring roads and bypasses around congested cities. This map gives you an idea about our spread of our program. You can see in different color, in different phases. The idea is the program is spread throughout the country. Not a single portion has been left, and this is the spread of our program. More or less, under NHDP, we have covered 54,000 kilometers, out of which last year we have already completed 20,000. Another 13,000 are in progress, and all these programs up to NHDP 4 are targeted for completion by the end of this 5-year plan. Then comes the road plan for the left-wing affected areas. It covers 8 states and the length is around 5,000 kilometers. This program is, we have already awarded, works are in progress and targeted for completion next year. Here our requirement of the technology is different from the NHDP. Here what we need is, these are the left-wing affected roads. Here my concern are more from the security concern rather than road safety. SAIDP, all the district headquarters in the 8 states have been connected to 2-lane good road. This program is also in progress and likely to be completed by the end of 2017. Besides, we have small programs through the state PWDs, which we take up on isolated and spot improvement program. Now, coming to the requirement, which this kind of program, when I am going to complete, what I am expecting from the industry, what I am expecting from the technology. Friends, road safety has become a big area of concern for us. Probably, you may be knowing, we have the dubious distinction of having maximum number of fatalities on our road. On our roads, 140,000 people are being killed every year. The casualties are more than the people killed in terrorist attack or even by HIV/AIDS. So this is an area which is of concern to all of us. Here, there are 4 E's which we commonly call: engineering, enforcement, education, and early assistance. In all the 4 areas, I am sure technology can help us a lot. The second problematic issue with us is the size of the network. We have such a vast network. I am not seeing from the perspective of a road user, even as a planner. I will have to manage this asset in a very scientific manner. For managing this asset, try to understand my problem. It is not the data which I'll have to collect once, it is not a stationary data. It is a dynamic data which is changing every now and then. The condition of the road is changing with the passage of time, with the passage of traffic. I'll have to plan every year my maintenance requirement. I'll have to plan and carry out maintenance in a very scientific manner. To do this all maintenance, what I need data. If I do it manually, which we are doing today, it's a time-consuming activity, and in the process, what happens, by the time I'll collect data, the ground condition changed. So asset management is another area where the technology can help me a lot. For example, if I forget about the road alone, it is very easy to say collecting data for 83,000 kilometers of road. It is not the road alone. The number of parameters involved, the potholes, the cracking, the rutting on the road, the condition of the bridges, because each parameter needs a different kind of treatment. Whereas I don't want that pothole should develop, then I'll have to see whether some kind of cracking started. If this information is available to me, instead of going for the repair, I can go for take some kind of preventive maintenance, and I can have my asset management on more scientific and efficient manner rather than what I am doing today. Coming to the very specific instances of bridges, we are supposed to inspect all our bridges twice a year. Now, the inspection, it misses many things many a time, because there are number of issues because many people are inspecting. Everybody has its own perception, own vision, own experience. He'll see and report me that I am seeing from one eye. So there is no standardization. Human element is always there. If I'll have some kind of system, now wireless technology, sensors, everything is available at cheap cost, I'll get that information every now and then on the passage of the traffic, through which I can have very scientific system for repair of my bridges or the structures. Friends, our network is not only large, it is very heterogeneous as well. When I say heterogeneous, on various accounts it is heterogeneous. It is heterogeneous in terms of the carriageway width. It is heterogeneous in terms of the construction of the material. The material which is used for construction, you can see cement road, you can see bituminous road, you can even see some gravel roads. So deterioration pattern for these different category of road will entirely be different. Not only that, even if it's a bituminous road or cement concrete road, the deterioration pattern will depend upon traffic plying on this. The deterioration pattern will depend upon climatic condition under which it is located. So I'll have to have a lot of data to generate deterioration pattern. This data I can get only if I'll start using technology. Then whatever I am talking so far is from the point of view of planning of the network. Now coming and let us see from the point of view from the road user. I showed you 2 slides about how we are getting the funding. I said private sector, private sector. The idea is, when I say private sector, when people started paying toll, their expectation will certainly be high. If road which is free for all, people will not expect. But when they are paying, they expect value for money. So the operation today is to be very efficient, safe and smooth. You might have read in the paper every now and then, one of the most critical element is operation of toll plaza. So these are the areas where I am sure that the technology will help us and we can go ahead. Enforcement. Friends, road is an area which is different from all other sectors. You talk about railways, infrastructure provided by someone, used by someone. The entity is one. In the road sector, road is provided by one, used by all. So collecting data on the road user itself is a big task that you can't have. I can plan for the road on the basis of the projection I made, but I don't know who are going to use that road and why and how they are going to use that road. No idea. Again, when talk about enforcement, it is with the third agency. Central government is responsible for construction of road. Enforcement lies with the state government or the local authority. Even when I say state government, overloading by one person, licensing by one person, traffic regulation by other person. So this is another area where we really expect technology to come forward and help us. For example, overloading. Way in motion bridges, not a big issue. This information can be provided very well, very efficiently. In fact, Ministry has already taken up, we are installing a number of way bridge on our network. There, we expect technology to come forward, we expect industry to come forward and help us. Now coming to the main issue, why we are looking towards the technology. As it happens, why we move towards machinery? We move towards machinery when we find it difficult that information is coming in time. I need information, but I need information in time. I need accurate information. If I do manually, number one, I'll not get it in time. If I do manually, possibility of accuracy is, then the efficiency, it avoids discussion. As I told you, if 10 people, if sent on the same road, they'll give me 10 different reports. What I want is a kind of a standard report which can be relied and used. Apart from that, these are the issues which are the necessity. Now, people have started thinking of something which contributes towards the environment. In fact, environment considerations are a major area of concern, and everywhere we are talking about preserving the resources. Problem with us, we could not change our construction material, construction technology, because we don't have the time series data or performance data on different material. In fact, I can tell you, in number of countries, smart roads have been constructed just for product evaluation, just for material evaluation. These are the roads used by the public, but sensors have been embedded during the construction, which will help us to give data on the performance of various type of material which will be utilized for framing up the specification. In Netherlands, a smart road has been constructed. What it does, on the vibration of the vehicle, it lights the night post. So your night posts are not required to be lit throughout the night. It will be lit once the vehicle is passing in the area. They have painted few stretches with the glow paint. Moment your lights fall on that, it will give you the brighter visibility. Sky is the limit. I can tell you, sky is the limit. What we'll have to do is, we'll have to start. The problem which I feel about utilization of technology in highway sector is, we are a specialized agency. I am working in highway sector. You are a specialized agency working in your own area. I don't know about your capabilities and you don't know about my requirement. Things are coming to surface when we started feeling it. Say for example, when I talked about toll, when we started facing this problem, then I came to you. If we have some kind of more interaction, I'll know about your capabilities, you'll know about my requirement, probably we will be in a very good and we will be in a better position to help each other. This I have listed out some of the area which from my perspective I feel are the priority areas for us to work on. Electronic toll collection. I think everybody knows when we have decided that we'll toll our roads, at least out of 80,000 kilometers of road, 40,000 kilometers of road will be tolled if even I'll put one toll plaza on every 100 kilometers. Of course it will be less than 100 kilometers. The number of toll plaza you can work out. You can work out the requirement of the electronic tolling in the country, and this is the most important area which I'll have to address now. Because by the end of 5-year plan, my 40,000 kilometer road will be in operation, all the toll will be in place, I'll have to only switch over to electronic tolling. Ministry, because there will be number of toll plaza, Ministry has already standardized and adopted RFID technology for tolling. You can use that, standards are available. Then comes the advanced traffic management. When people are traveling with speed, they need lot of information. When they are paying toll, one of the advantage they expect is saving time. So they'll have to be kept well informed about congestion. In fact, I'm sure today we are talking about real-time information. That day is not far when people will think of giving some futuristic information. Futuristic information means, what I'm saying is, as Mr. Rathore said, he will be expecting that I am going to Jaipur, whether it is going to rain in between, not only rain, whether any chance of traffic congestion during next 3 hours, and it's not a big deal. With the simulation, how traffic is moving now, what will happen in 3 years, one can predict it. So advanced traffic management is another area which we'll have to implement immediately. Enforcement, friends, enforcement, everybody knows, one of the major reasons for our poor road safety record is enforcement. Whether it is overloading, whether it is drunken driving, whether it is lane driving, whatever it is. I don't know. These are the issues which can very well be addressed. Say for example, I can talk to you about a very simple example about our pollution control certificate. Everybody is supposed to go on every quarter, get the certificate, no issue. Why can't we link it with our registration? And if I not go on the quarter, next month, double the charge, what is the problem? No issue. We can go one step further. Why to go for checking? Can't we have some kind of sensor in our vehicle? If it exceeds certain, give me warning, stop it, finished. There are very, yes, of course, I can understand cost was the major issue. But today, when the cost of the technology is going down, why can't we think on these lines? Why should we depend? I'll tell you, I always feel our system, our society, our mythology, our philosophy always work on the system somebody is watching. We have created God with only one objective, that somebody is watching, don't do wrong. And we work, we serve, we live in that system. Technology can become God. If my driver, my road user feels that somebody is watching, I am sure everything will be all right. Coming to if I go for enforcement, then the navigational assistance. Now, go through the papers, you'll find all kind of, equipments are available which will help you. Even now we started using, I have to go here and there, go 500 meter left, right, all available. What we'll have to do is put it on the dashboard. Then assistance in safe driving. Not only navigation. Yesterday only there was a news in the newspaper that people are developed a technology where the cars will automatically maintain safe distance from left, right, front and back. You'll have safe roads. Then, as I told you, product evaluation and sustainable solution are the area where we'll have to really work hard. Friends, now we'll have to change our perception. I, as an specialist R5 engineer, should see towards you, and you, as a technology provider, I as the industry, come forward, let us mingle together, try to understand our requirement, work together, reduce the cost of technology, because this is the biggest hindrance in our implementation of the technology. See from my perspective, my problem is my responsibility to improve the road. I prefer to improve road rather than introducing technology. So if cost can come down, we can think of, we'll have to sensitize people. That's all. Thank you.